What you are about to hear is highly classified. Pay attention and listen at all times. And
Which is the same thing.
Stay out of my intro, John. And most importantly, remember...
Always wear clean underwear.
If a member of your faculty...
Never take candy from a baby.
Yeah, okay.
With a knife.
You guys aren't going to let me get through this. If a member of your faculty sadly passes away, bring on Spider-Man as your guidance counselor. That solves all the problems. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering Zone 4.
No, it doesn't. Actually creates whole new ones.
Well, you know.
Parker, I'm afraid of spiders.
Students are locked in.
And you know, wearing spandex, a teacher wearing spandex is actually illegal in 38 states. So just that's your Zone 4 educational moment.
Apparently not in New York, though.
That's true. Plus, he goes commando, so,
He's got the spider web.
Hey, it's in the Avengers. Go look it up.
That is true.
He goes commando, so, these are children. And wearing skin-tight spandex with no underwear.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's not right.
Okay.
Right.
That's not right.
But we'll get more into that in a little bit.
I mean, what's next is the new Lady Thor going to teach Shakespeare?
That's true.
Are they going to throw in is the Wasp going to start teaching home ec? I mean, it's pandemonium. It's like cats and dogs living together during the apocalypse.
Hey, welcome to the Zone 4 PTA meeting.
Exactly.
That's right.
And welcome back to the Zone. I am Brant Fowler.
I'm John Wilson. I want to talk about the curriculum in this school.
I'm Gordon Domowski, and I am appalled at the sheer neglect that is facing our education system.
I'm Captain Ron Fortier, and I think the bus dropped me off at the wrong place.
I think so.
This is an interesting... yeah. Go ahead.
You want that meeting down the street where you have to stand up and go, "Hello, my name is Ron."
Hi, Ron.
I'm a comic book junkie, and I proudly admit it.
Not saying what the meeting's for, but
Speaking. Go ahead.
Hey, what?
Hey, live from
here we
all
are.
over the place. It's Zone 4.
Indeed, episode 286, inching closely to that 300 mark. But before we get too far into things, we should mention that we are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find us each and every Friday on comicspodcasts.com, as well as various other shows, including many of the shows that you find on Comic Related. So, there you go.
Hey. Is it true we're going to be going to, Sweden, to do number 300 in the Hayden Collider?
That could be. That's one of the various theories of what we're going to do for this very special episode.
Could be the end of the universe as we know it.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I'm sorry, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in the God particle.
No.
Well, you know what? Why don't you three can go check out the Super Collider? I'm going to go dig into Sweden's very progressive policies on addiction and social welfare, and check out some of the interesting blonde female individuals, and I'm going to burn in hell for saying that out loud, won't I?
I'm just going for the cheese. I don't know about you guys.
The cheese.
Well, what's Swedish for?
You're thinking
I'm thinking Switzerland. You're Yes, I am. Sorry. Sweden. Sweden,
yeah. Well known for their cheese,
fish.
Grant.
I apologize to all our Swedish fans.
We have Swedish fans?
They're known for their
Not anymore.
chef. They are known for their chef, but not their cheese.
Yeah,
my cheese are pork.
And their instant cocoa, and I think clocks, and that's probably about it.
Clocks.
And their fish.
Yes, I'm going for the clocks.
And girls named Inga.
Oh, now see, that's stereotypical right there. At least mine wasn't that bad. It wasn't even about this country.
Why? There's women named Inga in that country.
I'm sure there are, but they're not all named Inga.
I just said they were known for that. I didn't say every woman there.
And with that one statement of John's, we have lost our remaining female listener.
Our one remaining female listener?
We had one? Really?
We had one.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Yeah. Sorry, Ron's mom.
Oh, shoot. I think we should, every week leading up to the 300, we should just come up with some theory of what we're going to do for that episode now.
There you go.
There you go.
I like it. And I can make a fool of myself even more.
It's the theory of completely unrelativity.
There you go. I like it. That's John Wilson created that theory. There we go.
Thank you. I'm here all week. Try the veal.
There you go.
Tip your wait staff over.
Comic book headlines. All right, so we should dive into some headlines, and we've already touched on the first one.
I didn't touch anything.
Spider-Man becomes a guidance counselor at the Jean Grey School.
Yeah.
New series starting up in December, Spider-Man and the X-Men #1. Obviously, Wolverine, the whole death of Wolverine thing is going on right now. He's going to be dead, so he's no longer with the school. And
I find that rather prejudicial. Just because he's dead, he can't teach.
Yeah, I know.
don't like that at all.
I mean, I'm telling you, it just, what's wrong with the zombie? I mean, they're all mutants anyway. Why not have a zombie teaching?
Dead is never dead in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, but he's dead for that month or whatever.
For that week.
That week.
Plus, let's say he's the guidance counselor, right? You pick the most screwed up hero ever created to be the guidance counselor.
To be fair, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say you pick the guy who in 50-some years of existence has only managed to have 3 jobs and can barely keep those.
To be fair, he has been a teacher before, though.
He was, but he couldn't keep it.
That's true.
But it's like if you go back to the classic style of this character, the Marvel Universe. I mean, he was a nerd. He was a nerd bully every single day of his high school experience.
Right.
And I mean, when was it his life goal to go back to that place?
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
He should develop like twitching or a tick every time he even goes near a school.
Exactly.
It's I don't know if you guys know what's currently going on in the Spider-Man side of the Marvel Universe.
We don't, but you can tell us.
Yeah. Well, when Dr. Octopus was possessing Spider-Man's body or whatever, he founded an organization, a company, Parker Industries. And so now Peter Parker's back, and he's like the head of this whole research and development kind of thing. How's he going to have time to go be a guidance counselor at a school?
Well, not only that, but his brain wasn't in the forefront of this. Yeah. How does he even know what Parker Industries is doing?
He doesn't. That's the funny part. He's kind of learning as he goes.
That's like that movie where you had like Kevin Kline and Kevin Kline. Kevin Kline was the president, but then there was another Kevin Kline that looked like the president. Dave, there you go. Dave. Yeah, that's like this is Dave all over again. You pull him out, you pull him one guy out, you put the other guy in, looks just like that guy, but he doesn't know what's going on.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh well.
So I don't know.
Before we go way too off track here, and let's really get something out here. When I read the press release for this thing, one of my initial thoughts though was, this isn't the first time a comic book superhero has been given the job of being a teacher. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Just on that basis alone, I like that idea. Okay, because I think teachers in the world are really our unsung heroes in this society. Okay, kudos to all the teachers out there listening. We think what you guys and girls do every day is phenomenal. We owe you a huge debt of gratitude. And there've been some really cool comic heroes. I mean, I'm thinking Tony Isabella's Black Lightning, and others that were teachers. Wasn't in Firestorm, Ronnie Raymond's the other half of Ronnie Raymond. Right.
Professor Stein, I think.
Was the teacher and stuff like that. Right. So if nothing else, I think this is a nice twist. I think, kudos for the writers for coming up to it. And hey, maybe in a few years we'll be singing praises to, goodbye, Mr. Spider Chips or something,
Yeah, well, well, first off, as a former teacher, thank you for what you said. But, one problem with this is Spidey's not a mutant, so that's immediately, I think, going to put him on the outside, even though he's like, a superstar to all these aspiring heroes, I guess. He's been doing it since he was a kid. Mm-hmm. So, that will work. Even though I made a joke about it, I'm really kind of serious. He's never gotten his life together, and he's going to be the guidance counselor to these young heroes. I mean, and some of them.
Well, John.
Yes.
Peter Parker, Spider-Man, will serve as a cautionary tale.
Don't be like me.
Well, here's a couple other aspects of this, and one of them will make sense why this is a good idea. Okay, first,
he's getting paid.
Well, there is that. But first, the whole reason he's there is because before Wolverine dies, he thinks somebody at the school is not, like, a student is not who they seem, and he's trying to find out the truth. But the other thing is the writer of this series, Elliot Callan, however you pronounce it. He's actually the former head writer for The Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
Ah, lovely.
So there you go.
That should be it'll at least be funny.
Exactly. That's right. I think that's
nothing else.
Yeah, there'll be comic elements to this,
Yeah.
Right. So
I think a lot given the cover,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. And,
it could be. Fingers crossed.
And go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think it'll be fun. I just, don't go in there with high expectations of reality, I suppose.
No. But right now the current Wolverine in the X-Men series is not very good. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, it got a good start. I really liked it in the very beginning, but it faltered in a big old hurry.
Yeah, Jason Aaron wrote the first whole volume of it, and then he left, and they relaunched it with Jason Latour, and his first issue was okay, but after that it was terrible.
And go
ahead, Ron.
No, I was going to say, one of the things in the press release, guys, let's not forget either, and they haven't really solidified this, is the possibilities that they might rotate, teachers at the academy. So they'll do the story arc with Spider-Man and the X-Men, and then they'll bring in another teacher, and Peter will be gone, and it'll be somebody else in the X-Men, et cetera, which got me to thinking, pretty much what J.K. Rowling did with the Harry Potter, series. What was it? Spells teacher was changed every book. Was
Dark Arts teacher, yeah.
Defense against Dark Arts.
Right.
Yeah. So, he died. He would die or have to be replaced or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
It was a hint that could happen with this series.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that seems odd with the Wolverine series is you've got Kitty Pryde off babysitting the what do we even call them? The
original X-Men.
The future displaced X-Men.
There you go.
It's like that whole thing where there were Legion members and then there were Legion clones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the SW6.
Yeah, the SW6 Legionnaires. So yeah, it's all a little strange. So I just kind of hope Beast is still around. At this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
So there's at least one. So there's at least one adult. Right. In the building.
That'd be nice. That would be nice.
I think Storm's still there too, so you got her.
Yeah, Storm's on the cover, and then I see a lot of Bamfs around, but I don't see Nightcrawler. So
he's off doing his own thing.
He's off swashing his buckle.
Yeah. But all right. Speaking of Spider-Man, and just to put it out there, most of the rest of these are going to be like TV film because it's been slow comic news week.
Yeah.
Again. But speaking of Spider-Man, though. And I'm going to call shenanigans on this quote-unquote tease, but Andrew Garfield, this is the title of the article that I read. Andrew Garfield says his involvement in Sinister Six is kind of immaterial. Now, that headline would infer that he actually has a part in the movie, which we do not know at this point. So take this as you will. But basically, he was interviewed about it, and he said he knows more than he's supposed to right now, and that he's excited about the writer, but whether or not he's involved is kind of immaterial. That was his quote. So, I don't know.
He's not the... Well, I guess the Secret Six are supposed to be the protagonist, technically, so I guess he's not the antagonist in this film anyway.
Yeah.
Though they haven't said who is, really.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that he's even in it. I think the headline was misleading, honestly.
He may swing through at some point, literally, just swing through, but...
it could be, as soon as the Six take on Aunt May or something.
Yeah, probably. She's a tough old bird,
She's going to whip their butts. I can see that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Actually, she gets the Captain Universe powers again. Just cleans their block. Doesn't even need Franklin Richards this time.
I don't know. I mean, is there going to be a Sinister Six movie without Spider-Man? I don't know. It still doesn't gel with me.
It doesn't gel with me there being a Sinister Six movie, period.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, who are they going to fight? Each other? It makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah, I don't know.
They could do a kind of Ocean's 11 heist type deal, but
there you go.
Everything about this just it just smells. I smell a shark, and Fonzie is putting on the water skis.
There you go.
I'm gonna say.
Funny thing, I can't remember what I saw, but somebody there was like TV phrases, and people didn't know that that's where jumping the shark came from. Was Happy Days. I thought it was funny that people didn't.
Somebody
know that.
didn't know that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably younger people, but
must be. Yeah. The only sharks they're aware of exist in tornadoes.
Yeah, exactly. Sharknado, the second one.
The second one.
Anyway, continue on that path. Things will get dark in the Amazing Spider-Man spinoff of Venom. Yeah, of course.
Duh.
But
that's a revelation.
I don't expect it to be a musical, please. I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep. In other pressing important news, water is wet.
Yeah,
exactly.
Wow, I did not know that. I thought it was always dry.
What's he going to do? Pull a piece of the symbiote off, fashion it into a flower, and give it to a little girl? I mean, come on.
Well, hey. But the writer-director Alex Kurtzman said that the idea with Venom is that you can do things with Venom that you can't do with Spider-Man. Venom is a representation of every line that will get crossed. He's a much darker character, which is kind of obvious, but whatever.
Well, yeah, the Mac Gorgon one ate people, for God's sake.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. There was nothing really to that story, and just, there you go. Grasping for news this week, I'm telling you.
Oh, hey.
Moving on, this is something that we can all be excited about, though. Agent Carter first look. Agent Carter and the Howling Commandos are going to be in a flashback scene in the season premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on September 23rd.
Yay, love that.
Yeah. Really looking forward to that.
Well, I mean, one of the things they did, and we've all seen it, I gather, was, that little 20-minute video that promoted this whole idea of an Agent Carter series in the first place,
right. Which
which ended with Neil McDonough as Dum Dum Dugan and the other gentleman who played Howard Stark.
Yeah.
And, since then, there's been a lot of speculation as to whether any of these characters from the original Captain America movie would be making any kind of appearances. This is the first, domino to fall in that regard, and it's basically stated as a flashback.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, again, we're going to be looking back. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, though. I would especially Neil McDonough, of whom I'm a huge fan, and now S.H.I.E.L.D. does have a member. As of, the closing episode of last season, whose grandfather was a Howling Commander.
Right.
So that sets us up for maybe even a new character popping up in Agent Carter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wonder if, oh God, I can't remember his name, but there was one distinct African-American character in the Nick Fury group. Gabe something, or Gabriel, or something like that.
Right. Yep.
He was like a jazz singer, or...
Exactly.
Some jazz musician, I think.
Hornblower.
Was it really Hornblower?
Yeah, I think so.
That's cool. Because I'm thinking that would be great if they connected, him to the guy in the movie and to the guy currently in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Make him the grandfather.
Yeah, Gabriel Jones. Was his
Gabriel Jones, okay.
Yep.
Because I know he popped back up when they were doing that secret, oh man, I can't remember any name. That Secret Warriors thing that Fury was doing. The commandos were off doing something.
Yeah.
And they, Gabriel Jones and Dum Dum and a few others popped up because they had already split away from Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the last couple of issues of that. I don't remember exactly what was going. And we just had a train wreck. I don't remember exactly what was going on, but yeah, I do know there was some company or Merc thing that they were running, and Fury essentially came in and said, "Okay, you're all working for me now."
Yeah. Speaking of Fury, and this is a total sidetrack, but has anybody been reading Original Sin? John, did you ever catch up?
No, I still haven't gotten beyond that. I still haven't gotten beyond the reveal of Bucky.
Oh, okay. You should read the rest of that. It's totally Fury-centric, and something very drastic happens with Fury later on.
Yeah, yeah. I've been reading it, so
it's something, right?
Yeah, I do need to catch it up.
It was really good.
And what's interesting is it's a revelation on top of a previous revelation. That's all I can say.
Yeah, exactly. I would highly recommend. This is the best, for me personally, I don't know if you'll agree, Gordon. For me personally, this is the best Marvel event that I've read in years.
Yeah, it has it has the nice feel of an event where it doesn't, that a lot of these changes are not going to be fixed in 6 months.
Right, exactly. Ron, I think you would even like this. It's based on a murder mystery.
Oh, okay.
And it's the murder of the Watcher, and that's the whole mystery, and you got to find out who did it, and all these secrets are revealed about Fury.
Well, I mean, right. I mean, I get right now. I'm getting two Marvel titles, which is Captain America and the new Invaders.
Yeah.
And both of those played into this, overall Original Sin thing.
Right.
And I don't know if you guys pick up New Invaders, but the New Invaders Original Sin chapter was really riveting. It was basically, did the New Invaders know that they were going to drop the atomic bomb on Japan?
Oh.
And, was there a way for them to stop it, or did they let it go? And I'm not going to give away anything, but again, that was an awesome, it caught me by surprise. It was a really, really good issue.
Nice. Yeah, I read the first 2 or 3 issues of that series, and I kind of fell off of it. But that's good to hear. It's still really good.
Yep.
Nice.
And speaking of Captain America, real quick, before we jump on to the next headline, any of you guys picked up the Winter Soldier DVD or Blu-ray?
Not yet, I haven't.
Not yet. I plan to, but not yet.
Yeah, definitely.
Not yet.
Okay. I was there.
I assume you have?
Morning. Oh, yes. Oh,
Nice.
Yes. I got the Blu-ray. I got the Blu-ray package with the 3D. Some days I'm going to have to get a 3D TV. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Nice.
But anyways, it's a blast. It's just as much fun watching it, several times, and I absolutely love that movie. I think it's right now probably my best film of the year, and again, great cast. Storytelling blew me away. I just absolutely love the beats of that movie, from the exposition to the action to the exposition to the action, and again, very, very excited to see what they put together for the third, installment when they get to it. I don't know if you guys saw this week. The Comic Related had something with it. It was online as well. But one of the Russo brothers was talking about the fact that within the next week or two, they are going to reveal the title of Captain America 3.
Oh, nice.
And he says Kevin Feige had this title 10 years ago.
Wow.
This is the master plan that they're all following along. And so there you go. Fascinating.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what that is.
Yep.
John must have posted that story. I missed it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, speaking, before we leave this, I don't know if you all are familiar with a web series called Everything Wrong With. And they usually nitpick movies very, very hard, or they just tear most movies apart, but they couldn't do it with Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Oh,
Whoa.
nice.
Wow.
They just couldn't do it. They were like, they said it's too good. You know, who knew? And they finally said, but since this is an entertainment show, we'll get into nitpicking.
Oh.
And they did a few minutes of nitpicking, and they're like, see, but we told you it was going to be nitpicking. It's too good a show.
Yeah. Nice.
It's like, who knew Cap could kick ass like this?
Oh, well, that to me, I mean, the action sequences in Winter Soldier, it's a live Jack Kirby brought to life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When he takes down the personal jet from the motorcycle, I mean, it looked like I was turning comic pages in the movie theater watching it. You understand? Yeah. Panel for panel until he drops to one knee with his shield, and the thing just explodes behind him, falls to the ground, to the highway. And I went, oh, God, Kirby's got to be in heaven smiling from ear to ear. He has to be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. All right, so moving on from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which season premiere, we're definitely talking about that episode just to let everybody know.
Okay.
Yeah. We are, let all our listeners know, we are going to be jumping right back on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. discussion because we do really love that show. Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw this, the Bill Murray cast a female version of Ghostbusters. And
Murray drives me crazy. I mean, he basically balks at doing another one for a decade, and then turns around and says, well, if you put all these female characters together, that'd be a good bird. And all of a sudden, it's all news everywhere. Yep. And of course, the actresses that he chose are all great comedians. Mm-hmm. And when they heard of this, they jumped on board. It's like, oh yeah, I do that in the heartbeat, blah blah blah. And the truth of the matter is, it's a great idea.
It's a very interesting idea.
Really a good idea. Somebody write this and make this movie.
Yeah. But it's funny, Kristen Wiig, Saturday Night Live and all that stuff. She's done several movies. Her response was, "I will do whatever Bill Murray tells me." I love that.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the other three he picked, I mean, Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah. From what is she from? That
Mike and Molly.
Yeah, Mike and Molly. That's what I'm thinking of the name.
She's made several films in the last couple of years that are insanely funny.
Yeah.
One of them was Identity Theft.
Yeah.
And the other one was the one she did with Sandra Bullock. It was a cop comedy movie, partner movie. I forget what it was called now. But she is insanely funny. And then Emma Stone.
Yeah, Emma Stone, of course. Yeah.
Which, again, I mean, top notch. And I am not overly familiar with the name. It's probably somebody I know, but Linda Cardinelli.
Yeah, that one escapes me, too. I'm
not. She was Velma on Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
Scooby-Doo movie.
Okay. She was on ER, too. Okay, I know who she is now.
All right. So I mean, Murray throws this out flippantly, like, yuck, yuck, I'm just doing this thing and people are going to write about it, blah, blah, blah. But at the heart and core of it, if he doesn't want to make another Ghostbusters movies, then the people who own the rights in the studio should pay attention to this. An all-girl Ghostbusters movie, especially with this cast, would fly. All right, give them a decent, funny script, and this could be a riot.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Especially with that cast, like you said.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. We're definitely going to be following this news on the fringes, see if anything solidifies.
Hey, there have been movies made from less than this, okay?
That is true. That is true.
There you go.
All right. Next up, Loot Crate. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Loot Crate. It's John, I know you are.
Yeah.
It's a service where they send you subscribe to it, and they send you a box of, like, little pop culture goodies and stuff. They, in this month, for September, they are doing a Loot Crate box that includes stuff from Star Trek, Star Wars, and Firefly. And in honor of this, they created a fan film, a 14-minute and so many seconds long fan film called The Verse, based on Firefly. And, it is what it is. It's a fan film, but it was actually pretty well made. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It surprised me. I mean, I definitely watched it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a fan. I won't say obsessed, but I own the entire, that one season on DVD and Serenity, and I absolutely love Firefly. I think it's one of the big, TV crimes of all time, to see it canceled, after one season. And I understand the fan reaction, the cult status of the series and the property. And watching this thing, I mean, within 5 minutes, I was right back in that universe. I thought they did a nice job with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So now, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop now, because I absolutely know that Brant here always usually tapes himself when he is opening up his latest Loot Crate box.
Yes.
So that's the one I want to see, Brant. So post the link when you do, please.
I definitely will. I'll put it on CR and I'll let you guys know about it.
Excellent.
So
I want to see what kind of Firefly goodies you get.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking forward to most. So we shall see. All right, and also, since we're talking about Loot Crate, if you guys would like to try out Loot Crate, you can find the link in the show notes, and it'll help me out. So there you go. Use that link.
Subtle.
But, yeah, very subtle. We don't do subtle here on Zone 4.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so moving on to some DC movie stuff, movie and TV stuff, actually. The first official picture of the Batmobile from Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice has been released. What's his name? Director Zack Snyder tweeted this after a bunch of rumors and fake photos were making their way around the internet. So, what do you guys think about this first image of the Batmobile?
I know why Batman's sad in all those pictures.
For me personally, I like it better than the Tumblr. I'll say that.
Well, I mean, my instant reaction on Facebook when this popped up, there was a link. Mm-hmm. And honest to God, guys, okay, maybe it just shows my overall disenchantment with what's going on with this. Mm-hmm. But I looked at it and went, oh, really? Okay, I mean, everything else about this film that screams, train wreck. Mm-hmm. And now you're going to let's make an event of showing the new Batmobile. And I didn't. I just ignored it. I kept going down the line. And when I saw you posted it here, Brant, I said, well, okay, to get into the discussion, I'll look at it. And the truth to be told, all I expected to see was another super steroid tank machine. And that's exactly what I saw. No, I mean, ever since Nolan started doing that with the Tumblr, what's happened to originality and creativity in Hollywood these days? Okay, you couldn't come up with a better Batmobile than just the same old, only now it's got more armor on it and machine guns? Come on, jeez.
I don't know.
You know what would have been the really creative choice with this Batmobile? To make it more of a look like a regular car, make it more of a stealth vehicle. I mean, because I look at this and I think, this is the sign of a company that is so desperate for good feeling. It's like, hey, we'll put out a picture of this mega car. And, some poor intern, some graphic design guy put that together. And they were going through, nope, oh, okay, that's awesome. Whereas if they had done something a little bit more, and again, you pretty much, there's no way you can make Ben Affleck as Batman impressive. But if you put him, you could put him in a Tercel and he'd be more badass than that car.
Oh.
I don't even see how you drive it, honestly.
Well, right. I mean, look. It's insane to me, okay? I mean, when they were doing the Batman TV show, and then what was his name? Barris designed the Batmobile for that show. There was a lot of flair and class to that thing. All right, when they were doing the TV Green Hornet, and they did the Green Hornet, again, the same idea. There are literally, hundreds of really gifted automobile designers out there, custom makers and whatever. They could have tapped to say, give us a cool-looking Batmobile, okay? Something that muscle car enthusiasts are going to love. I mean, here's an opportunity to widen your audience, okay? Give us a real muscle car Batmobile that the car fanatics, Jay Leno and the rest of them go, wow. No, again, they give us this blah-looking tank thing. It's like, really? That's what car people are going to be real excited about? It's like, give me a break, okay? It's ridiculous.
I'd honestly rather see the Edsel with the bat head battering ram.
There you go. Bravo, John. Amen.
Yeah,
Totally.
It's ridiculous. I mean, as kind of silly as the original, the Tim Burton Batman was, at least the car made sense. He had machine guns, but they had the decency to be hidden.
Yeah.
And to pop up out of the side.
We could be seeing this like fully out. I mean, maybe they do revert.
I would hope so, but look, he's got a window screen, or he's got a windshield that looks about as big as a porthole.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how high up does that seat have to be to even see to drive the car?
Guys, even the most desperate Transformer movies at least have the cool Bumblebee in it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a better looking car than this piece of junk.
I mean, he looks like he has to stand up in it, and Affleck's old. He needs to be able to sit when he drives.
There you go. A wheelchair with a rocket in the back.
There you go.
The funny thing is, you guys are like tearing this apart, and I actually kind of like it.
Oh, Grant.
Well,
I bet you get the tiny toys all over your room.
No, the thing is, for me, it's like a step up from the Tumbler. I hated the Tumbler. I actually preferred the Tim Burton Batmobiles too.
Oh, me too.
And the Tumbler just aggravated me because that was totally not Batmobile to me. This, to me, is more of a step in the right direction from the Tumbler, and I think that's why I like it, because it's not the Tumbler. I mean, it does have Tumbler tendencies. I get what you guys are saying with the whole, aesthetic and everything, but it's a little step up for me, so that's why I like it.
It looks like the Tumbler's illegitimate child.
I respect.
Definitely, like the Tumbler mated with a Sherman tank or something.
Now,
it looks like a Tumbler on a Roger Corman budget.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, you just said Corman. That's what I'm leading up to.
Okay.
Back in the 80s, I guess it was going to be. It would have been the late 80s, maybe even early 90s. Corman did this little TNA superheroine thing that popped up on cables at night called the Black Scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, Sci-Fi did like a season of Black Scorpion, TV show. And this was this female girl in some kind of, outfit with a whip that was her stinger and all this good stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the coolest things that Corman came up with was she had this like really classy sports car. And then she had the technology in it. She'd hit a button, and it was like this yellow sports car, all right? And she'd hit this button, and all of a sudden it was like midnight black. And the headlights would turn over and be something else, and suddenly it was like her Scorpion mobile or whatever, all right? And I'm going, you mean to tell me Bruce Wayne can't do something like this? To have this classy, 21st century sports car that girls go crazy over, guys envy, and then hit a button and it becomes the super Batmobile, I mean, even that would have been better,
Yeah. I can see.
Like I said,
why doesn't Bruce Wayne
we're following
have
the Tumblr brand.
Yeah. No, I get your point there. What were you saying, John?
Bruce Wayne needs Kit. He needs Kit. He needs the Knight Rider car.
I love that.
Yeah.
He needs a car that will
totally
talk back to him, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking... honestly, the car that he crashed into the guys that were trying to kill the guy that was going to rat him out in the Nolan movie was better. The Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So moving on.
Much more subtle.
Yeah. Moving on from the Batmobile.
We hate your car, Brent.
Yeah.
Welcome to Chop Talk.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, Ruckus.
All right.
I'm the Tappet Brothers.
Yeah. This is still staying in the DC movie area. Chalk this up as rumor until we hear some kind of confirmation on this stuff. There's a possibility that Warner Brothers is developing a Legion of Superheroes film.
That would be cool.
That would be cool, but is it possible? I mean, I can understand after Guardians of the Galaxy they want to do something in the cosmos that's not Green Lantern. But I don't know. We know they have all these dates that they've not announced these films for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that this could be one. I think the Latino Review website is the one that started this particular rumor. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? You think there's any validity to it? Would you like to see it?
I think it's just wishful thinking on their part, personally.
Maybe so.
I do not see this happening because, to me, again, even when you read this as a rumor, all right,
Yeah.
It does what you just said, Brant, which is, well, DC's seen the success of Guardians of the Galaxy, and my immediate second thought after that which is basically DC once again chasing Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like every time Marvel comes out with a hit new movie, somebody's going to start a rumor that DC's doing this particular character from their house, as opposed, okay?
Sure.
So Guardians of the Galaxy is a hit. What does DC have? And the closest thing they could come to is Legion of Superheroes. I think it's a rumor. I absolutely think it's a rumor. And until DC can get some kind of success under it, with at least 1 or 2 films, I'm not holding my breath, guys. I really am not, because it's we've all said it before. So much is gonna. I mean, so much hindered on Superman as it is, Man of Steel, and they dropped the ball.
Yeah.
So I mean, Superman versus Batman, Dawn of Justice. I don't know if that thing tanks. You can kiss all these other plans goodbye. We ain't ever gonna see any of them.
I personally like Man of Steel, but that's me.
Yeah, I mean,
I think.
Hello.
Go ahead, Gordon.
I think that a Legion. Okay, I think a Legion of Superheroes movie is a really good idea. There are 2 things about this item that make it very unlikely. The first is that it's in Latino Review, which kind of has a Bleeding Cool-esque regard for truth and journalistic integrity.
Right.
I think Latino Review will, when it comes to this field, they will put out anything for clicks. The other is most of DC's movies, DC likes dark and grim and gritty, and Legion of Superheroes is happy and joyous and fun and everything else. I don't think, even if everything works in DC's favor, which I doubt, but even they're not going to approach this. They're going to want that kind of snarky, sarcastic humor that works in Guardians of the Galaxy that doesn't work for the Legion of Superheroes. So exactly. I think in theory, Legion of Superheroes, great idea. I would not trust DC to tell me that Superman wears a cape and has a big red S on his chest at this point. I don't trust them. I think they've dropped the ball. They're good at TV, but not so good in the movies. So
I don't know about that. But, we can talk about that some other time. Legion of Superheroes, I think if it was completely divorced from their cinematic universe that they're trying to build, it could be something like they're doing with Shazam. The rumors are saying that Shazam is going to be its own thing. And, if they did do this film and they did it that route where it was just its own thing, just a cool cosmic movie with these kind of cosmic police force, I think it could be pretty fun. But I agree. They're outside of Batman, they do kind of tend to stumble. So
I think they can do this, but they're going to have to keep it small. They're going to have to go. They're going to have to go with the origin story, and then they're going to have to go back to the early issues where they first started building. Now, in this article, I have to call shenanigans on 2 things here. The list of people they give. They're fine up to the 4th one. Earthman is a villain, a recent villain at that, and Chameleon Girl.
Yeah, that's a recent thing too.
Yeah, it's a recent thing too. So apparently someone at Latino Review has no sense of history, and shame on Superhero Hype for just letting that slide through. But I think they could get away with it. I think it could be a good thing, but they're going to need to be small and be smart about it. They may not be able to get the really, really visual heroes like Dawnstar and Wildfire in right away. I think they're going to have to start with the core Legion first and then kind of build up from there.
I agree with that. The Brainiac 5 character, Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad, Saturn Girl.
Yeah, exactly. Who else was early? Chameleon Boy was pretty early.
Yeah.
They could do that. Ultra Boy, maybe Timberwolf. A couple of those people. just so they could have a woman of different color, quote unquote, shadowless.
Yeah.
In there, you know. So those really early, like they said, you know, going back to the Action Comics Legion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, in this discussion, I'm just kind of curious though, because it's been off the air for a long time. But as we're talking about this, I'm having some really fond memories. Any of you guys were regular watchers to that Saturday morning cartoon show of years ago, Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes?
I caught a couple of them, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I watched some of them. I didn't watch all of it. But
yeah, I caught both seasons. I mean, it was a shame that I think at the time, I think they were part of Kids WB, which had folded, because it was part of the time where WB got folded into the CW, and they decided, oh no, we don't want to do kid stuff anymore. So
it was the last hurrah, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was one of the last things James Tucker. It was one of the last ones that I think Dwayne McDuffie wrote for. But I think James Tucker had produced it, and it had that kind of. And what was nice too was that it was kiddish, but it wasn't insultingly so. Like It was for kids, but you could watch it as an adult and not feel creepy.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed it, and like I said, so we got into the discussion, and I found myself all of a sudden remembering, because I made a note of watching it every chance I can get, and it's one of those that I wish Warner Brothers would collect and put on DVD. Because it was a really good series. The animation was excellent, it's like Gordon said, and the stories are a lot of fun and extremely well done. So.
You might want to check the Warner Archive, because I know a lot of their less than a lot of titles when it comes to movies and shows. A lot of the stuff that they won't necessarily release via the mainstream, you can actually get custom DVDs, like Man from Atlantis, which was an old show. You can get on DVD through Warner Archive. So it's basically DVD on the go. So you don't have to worry about like trying to find it in a store, and they send it to you in a nice box and everything. So because you can actually get the 1975 Doc Savage movie via Warner Archive.
Yeah, I knew that. That I knew. Right. And while staying on the same trend as far as DVDs and whatever, I see that. One is also recently, maybe about a month ago, finally released the full season 1 of Young Justice on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's on my Christmas wish list, people.
Yeah. Ron, real quick, I did actually just look up the Warner Archive, and they do have volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Legion of Superheroes.
They do? Yep. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll send you a link via email after the show.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. So we got 2 more pieces of news, both DC related. One is interesting. Greg Berlanti confirms a Supergirl TV series is in development. They have not gone to the networks yet, but they are starting work on it already. So it's unclear what network it might land on. I'm kind of thinking CW, but it could probably.
Didn't they make a comment to the effect that initially they passed on it?
Yeah.
But then saw how popular Arrow was and the creation of Flash, and I literally turned around and said, let's sit down and talk again.
Yeah. I could see them, like, right after Smallville kind of pitching this and be like, no, we're kind of done. And then Arrow takes off and Flash is getting all this good press, and they're like,
there's nothing like success to make the other guys sit down and talk again.
Yeah. And it's interesting, Greg Berlanti of Arrow is teaming up with the producer of series Chuck and No Ordinary Family. Right. So that's an interesting.
So he's got some experience in superheroics, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm kind of looking forward to this.
Could be interesting. It'd be interesting to see who ends up being in the cast.
Right.
And if they pick the right young lady with the acting chops and charisma, this could be a career building role.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely don't think they're going to stick with Laura Vandervoort from Smallville.
Well, no, she's in the
Bitten.
Yeah, she's in Bitten right now. So
And our final piece of news, if nobody has any other comments about that, is the new Flash promo, which was released earlier this week, I guess. Teases some more heroes. I didn't really see that in this clip, though.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was the claim, but they didn't really tease anybody, so... Yeah,
I was seeing, like,
whatever.
I was seeing these images of Vibe and everything, and it's, the character that's Adam, what is it, what is it?
Firestorm.
Well, no, Vibe.
Star Labs, right?
Star Labs.
Vibe, he did Star Labs, yeah.
Yeah, he is the character that becomes Vibe in the comics, but...
Man, why, is all I have to say. I do not understand DC's love for this character.
Vibe?
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean...
It's not DC, it's Jeff Johns.
Well, maybe... Yeah, well, Jeff Johns' love for this character.
It's kind of like Bendis with Spider-Woman.
I mean, honestly, Spider-Woman's a good character.
Well, no, I agree. It's like Jeff Johns just really, for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, he was a racial slur, essentially, when he first came out. I mean, honestly, he was a racial stereotype.
Yeah.
His name was even Paco.
Yeah.
Notice how they changed that.
Yeah.
For this. I mean, if I was of Mexican descent, I would be physically annoyed, if not sickened, by every reference to Vibe.
Well, I mean, they brought him back in the New 52, and he's actually not as bad of a character in the New 52. He's actually gone toe-to-toe with the Flash. So, I don't know. It kind of makes sense. I understand your reasoning. He is kind of a lame character.
He is. I mean, from the worst incarnation of the Justice League.
Yeah.
And by far one of the worst characters.
Was that the Detroit one?
Yeah, that's Detroit,
Yeah, the Detroit Justice League or whatever. I don't know. But,
I don't know. I don't get it, but, maybe he's trying to redeem him. Yeah. Who knows, but...
I was slightly disappointed by the promo this time. I mean, I'm still very excited for the show, but I was like, oh, new heroes. I want to see what...
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, it's nothing... That was a little misleading, but okay.
I'll have to take the hit for this. I just put the same title they put on it.
Yeah, it's cool. I would, like, on other sites, I actually saw, like, the Vibe image going along with this promo and stuff, so I think everybody just, I don't know, jumped on that. But...
Yeah.
Whatever. All right, so that wraps up our headlines, unless anybody has anything else.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's time for a Facebook shout out. John. You taking this one for us?
Sure. What, where, when, how?
Facebook shout out.
I am?
You are. I asked you in the email. You didn't listen.
Oh, I didn't look. I thought it was who wanted to take this.
Yeah, and then later I said, John, take this.
Okay, well then hang on a sec. Let me find the email again and find the person.
While he's doing that, if you'd like to get a shout out on the show, all you have to do is go over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Zone4Podcast, hit the like button, and once in a blue moon, we will shout you out on the show. And if John does it, he will probably insult you. You know.
Just so you know, I might very well insult you. In this case, if I can find your name, I might insult you. Chris Darrell. How do you say this guy's name?
He's from the South. Chris Darrell.
Yeah, that's as close.
There y'all. There you go.
There y'all.
That's probably right. Because he does look a bit like a juggalo, Apparently, the co-owner and CEO of Pineapple Train Records, promoter for Pineapple Train Records. Oh, I get it. Pineapple Train Records. Ah,
yeah,
smart. And a competitor at the X Games. What did I tell you? Homie lives in Eureka, California. Of course he does.
But where's he from?
He's from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
Of course.
All right. Well, I bet you I know why homie moved to Cali. Because it would seem that smoke is very important to the young man. And by smoke, I mean marijuana. Because his prominent profile picture is him blowing smoke with dark sunglasses, a dark hat, and long hair. So there you be.
It could just be really cold,
It could just be really, really cold, and and he's wearing, whatever. Okay. Apparently, homie here likes. I can't stop calling him homie. I don't know why. Chicago. He likes the Bulls. He likes Packers everywhere in the Subaru Impreza WRC 99. Yeah. Okay,
John, did you just say he liked the Green Bay Packers?
Yes, sir.
Because he has just committed a major league faux pas in that in Chicago, you cannot like a Chicago team and like the Green Bay Packers. I mean, that is considered that's a crime. That is worthy of a Channing Tatum style vicious beatdown.
He is from Wisconsin originally.
He is from Wisconsin originally.
Yeah,
so,
it doesn't matter. Even if you're from Wisconsin, that is not a free pass. You say you're a Packers fan, you will get a vicious beatdown.
Okay. He has no excuse, I know. Well, surprisingly enough, his musical tastes do tend to run in one direction. With a few
polka?
With a few minor jumps here every now and then. He likes Wasp and Alice Cooper, Rat, Def Leppard, Bret Michaels, David Lee Roth, Warrant, things like that. Then you have Lita Ford, which is kind of in that vein. But then he likes Billy Idol too, so go figure. Other than that, he seems to be very much into what you would assume he'd be into. He's into horror, it looks like. Well, he likes Key and Peele, so, that's a little horrific sometimes. Likes Need for Speed, Pass a Joint. See, I told you. He likes the game Pass a Joint. He also likes Star Wars Battlefield. WWE NXT as far as TV series, and the Tudors. Go figure that one out.
That goes together.
That goes together like bread and gravy.
Yeah, but the Tudors has a lot of HBO style sexuality.
Well, there you go. A lot of boobies in the Tudors. So, there we go. Chris, there y'all. If that is indeed your true name. I wish you, and I doubt it, I wish you and your Pineapple Train records well, and you have now been shouted out.
Yeah, I do have to add one little thing. He's also a member of the Taylor Swift group on Facebook.
Now he's just asking for a vicious beatdown.
We do greatly appreciate your like and your support of the show.
Yeah, please keep listening, okay?
We just like to have a little fun with our listeners, that's all.
No, dude, this is all done with love, believe me. I can tell you are someone who likes the bud, and I'm sure we're hilarious on marijuana. So,
sure.
I'll have to ask my neighbors here in Colorado.
Yeah. So I'll say to you, sir, continue to smoke up and listen to Zone 4.
There you go.
Zone 4, promoting the smoking of marijuana.
Hey, I'm all for it.
I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but ever since they legalized it here, Canadian geese are going the wrong way. So, all right, I think it was there.
But don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so now that just leaves us with topic time.
Topic time. It's topic time.
All right, so you guys may remember about 3 weeks ago, I think it was, we started this list and we could not make it all the way through. These are the 40 movies you probably didn't know were comic books, and we did the first 20, so we got 20 left. We figured we'd go ahead and fulfill our promise and finish this out this week. So we left off with Men in Black, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds about right. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So next up on the list we have Mystery Men. Anybody see this movie?
I have never seen that.
I did actually. Yeah, no, I have actually.
Ben Stiller and Janine Garofalo.
I lost my ability to speak. Hank Azaria is in it. Who's the bad guy? Lost his name. I
don't remember. I know.
Jeffrey Rush. Yeah. Jeffrey Rush is the main bad guy. Eddie Izzard is in it, and he worships at the altar of disco and hair products.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
And there was a guy that thought he was invisible and was walking around naked.
Yeah, it's one of the kids off of one of the Nickelodeon shows.
Yeah, I think it was Kel.
Yeah.
Something.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Mystery Men themselves, as a comic, were a supporting group to a character called the Flaming Carrot.
Yeah, it was Flaming Carrot Comics from way back in 1979, I believe. Is what
Yeah.
So yeah, they were totally comic based. I think it was, I don't know, it was one of those movies that I guess you could have gone either way. I didn't know they were a comic at the time because it was just, I kind of thought it was a superhero parody kind of movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it came out, I think, like in the early 90s, like in the middle of the Batman films. So it wasn't a comic book movie per se. I think it was just, okay, well, we've got this property. It's time for a parody. Let's just throw it out there.
Yeah. So it was a funny movie, though. I mean,
yeah, honestly, it was pretty good. It had Paul Rubens as a guy. His power was extremely noxious farts.
Yeah, and I believe Janine Garofalo, she was a bowler, and
she was
her
the bowler.
Ball had like a spiritual aspect.
It was her father was
like in the bowling ball. Yeah,
right. Her father was like this well-known superhero.
Yeah.
Known as Carmine the Bowler or something. Yeah. He was murdered, and she had his head put in the ball, and she communicated with the head.
Yeah.
Like it talked to her.
Right.
And gave, essentially gave her crap and about, you're not doing this right, I'm disappointed in you, blah, blah, blah. Made her leave college or something like that to go avenge him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was actually a surprisingly good movie. Greg Kinnear was like the, I can't remember his superhero name, but he was also the district attorney. And he was like the big superhero, corporately sponsored and
right.
And all this other stuff.
It also had William H. Macy in it.
He was the shoveler. Yeah. And, honestly, this movie gets a lot of crap for being bad, but it was actually a pretty good movie.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really, really progressive in a lot of ways. I mean, William H. Macy's wife was African American in this movie,
mm-hmm.
and they had a child, which, in the early 80s was still kind of, you didn't see that on TV or in movies a whole lot. And it's a better movie than a lot of people give it credit for. I guess is the best way to put it.
Greg Kinnear's character, by the way, Captain Amazing.
Captain Amazing, yeah, there you go.
But just like this article said, and Ron kind of pointed to this, the source material in this film, the link was pretty thin. So
yeah. And kind of in name only. I think.
Kind
of. Okay, Brad. What's number 22?
Number 22, we got a movie called Virus.
Oh, Dark Horse. That's a Dark Horse series about an alien creature, virus, that ends up on an oil rig ship.
Okay.
And begins to take over people, and it's part of an invasion coming to Earth. And it was basically made into a cheesy B horror movie, and I believe Jamie Lee Curtis is in this thing.
Yeah, she's in the picture there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd never heard of either one of these.
I haven't either, so I would definitely not have known this one.
Yeah, book or movie. I've never heard of either one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. It was 1999 when the movie came out.
Yep.
And that's Dylan McDermott, isn't it?
Let's see. It's got Donald Sutherland, William Baldwin.
Maybe that's a Baldwin there.
Yeah. That's Dark Horse. Dark Horse had created its own production arm, if you will. Okay, working with Hollywood, and we mentioned a few of their other earlier efforts last week, and that was another one of those that you got the feeling the comic was actually made so that they could have another movie project in the works.
Yeah.
Once the movie was done, the comic was gone.
Right.
Apparently inked by Jimmy Palmiotti.
Wow.
According to the cover, anyway.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, so moving on to number 23. We've got, this is a more recent one, actually, Two Guns.
Yeah.
This is starring Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg. This is based on a Boom Studios property that came out in 2007. Yeah.
I don't think it squat at the theater.
It didn't. It was an okay movie. I saw it not too long ago, actually.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. To me, it was like, again, when you see, we're at that point where I think there's a saturation point, and I don't know if you guys agree or not, but it's like if you're going to make a film, and nobody makes cheap movies, and if you're going to get people like Denzel Washington, Mark Wahlberg, or whatever, you're paying some big bucks.
Yeah.
So you obviously, the logic says, well, you go after highly successful movies.
Yeah.
I mean, comics. That's what I meant. All right. The foundation material, the source material should be something extremely popular. And yet Two Guns comes out, and I didn't know it was based on a comic till after it had come and gone. And I'm online one day, and I think it was a comic related that I found out it was actually a Boom Studio comic. And I went, huh?
Yeah.
I had never even heard of this thing.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, we're going straight to, what the title of this whole list was all about. Because it seems like Hollywood now is not only going after, popular comic series that all of us know and enjoy, but they're digging into the back files for the B stuff that who knows what kind of an audience they really have.
Yeah. I think we talked about it a few weeks ago, how Boom Studios and I think it's Fox or one of the studios has the option, first look option to all their properties.
Yep.
And yeah, that's this was one of the first things. I think this might have been this was a Boom Studios. I know they're looking at the Archaea stuff as well. But I think this was one of the, there was two at the same time that they pulled from, and this was one of them. I think Damon might have been the other one that has not been made yet.
This was a film that, while I was surfing the net like 2 weeks ago, guys, I came on the last 10 minutes of it and was so grateful. That's all I got to say. It's lackluster. Oh my God.
And I do wonder with properties like that if one of two things is happening. One is that there's some executive that's so desperate to have something produced, he's not just looking at the obvious, but he looks at a book and says, "Oh, this is the next great franchise. We should buy it and sell it." And I can tell you, there's at least one comic that I've read. It's a secondary comic. It might even be on this list that I really suspected after reading that, they just put that comic together in order to get a contract. So I wonder if part of it is also that the creators may be doing things that they see as, this is going to be a great movie, but then it turns into, as Ron said so eloquently, something that's very lackluster.
I think especially with the first look deal in place, I think we might see a lot more of that kind of stuff pop up, like you just explained, Gordon. People writing for a movie hoping that the studio looks at it and says, we'll make a movie of that.
Yep.
Which is sad.
Well, the thing that strikes me, the fact that neither Brant or I had even heard of this comic says a lot, because you guys
run a news site.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Even 7 years ago, we should have at least seen something about this or heard something about this.
Right.
So it's extremely surprising. To
be fair, Boom Studios was a lot smaller 7 years.
Yeah, they were tiny back then, but still.
Yeah, I agree. Being the comic news side, we should have.
We should. We should have at least read the name.
Yeah, especially since I do remember the first properties Boom Studios started coming out with. I remember some of those. So it's like there was one called Talent. That was like one of their first titles. And
right.
I should have known about this. You're right. So interesting. All right. Moving on. This next one I'm going to kind of call shenanigans because it's not really a movie. It's a TV show. But okay. Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how you could not know. I guess if you never picked up an Archie comic in your life or something, I don't know.
Right. To be fair, Brandon, I mean, comic readers, nerds, and whatever would know this.
Yeah.
But the general public at large, no.
I don't know. I mean, since Sabrina and Archie and everything's been around since the 60s, I kind of find it hard to believe that you would not have heard of her at least.
I think any 8-year-old would know this.
I'd be more than tempted to say I'd be more familiar with Casper's friend Wendy the Witch.
Yeah, maybe
than I would be with Sabrina.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
They would have. Pop culturally, I think they would have at least heard the name, or they would have heard something Teenage Witch. It may not have necessarily been Sabrina, but it seems like it's just part of the lexicon, more or less.
I don't know. All right, moving on, since that's a TV show and we all know it anyway. This next one, interesting. Okay, the film is called Snowpiercer, which is a fairly recent film. It came out last year. It is based on a comic book from 1982 to 2000 called Les Transpersonnages. I can't even pronounce it.
Oh my God, it's French.
Yeah, it is French.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Which I think we can take a pass on this one for none of us being French.
This was a Chris Evans movie that came out last year. I've not seen the movie. I've heard mixed reviews about it.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
What was the movie called?
Snowpiercer.
Okay. I'm just asking for reference in case I trip across it while surfing the web.
It's got a good cast. It's got Tilda Swinton, Chris Evans, Ed Harris, and John Hurt.
It's supposedly a huge train that's powered by a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
That I assume pierces snow at some point.
Oh. Well, hey, there you go.
Interesting. I would have never guessed that was based
on
No.
way.
No.
Yeah,
but
that adheres to the title. They get props for that one.
Yeah, definitely. All
right. I think we're safe on this one though.
Yeah. Next up, this one actually, when it came out, I didn't know either. Bulletproof Monk.
Likewise.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah.
You know it was a comic for us, Gordon?
Yeah, I know that because I was like, because that's, it was out. Oh, I'm tempted to say late 80s, early 90s. I could be wrong, but I knew about the comic long before I knew about the movie.
It was actually 1999 is when the comic came out.
Yeah, I actually knew about the comic. I didn't think the movie was the same thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it just had the same name, but I didn't think it was the same thing. Probably because it had Sean William Scott in it.
Probably. But it was an Image comic. It was by Michael Avon Oeming and Tim Sale.
Yeah.
I saw the movie and enjoyed the movie a great deal. And I think it was long about the time I went to see the movie that I discovered that it was based on a comic.
Yeah.
But I've never seen copies of the comic myself.
Right, I haven't either. I actually have the movie. So.
Yeah, me too. I liked it that much.
Yeah.
I actually had the comic, or I did have the comic somewhere because I've always been a big Tim Sale fan. So, so.
Okay.
I honestly, till you just mentioned it, didn't know these were the same thing.
Okay, moving on to the next one. This I've never heard of. Tamara Drew.
Gesundheit?
Yeah, that's the name of the comic and the movie. Tamara
She's naked in the comic.
She is naked in the comic.
Is she naked in the movie?
I have no idea. I've never heard of this.
Let's go look it up right now.
Who's in the movie?
Thomas Hurt. No, that's not.
That's not.
It's British. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it came out in 2010. Let me look it up.
Tamara Drew.
Tamara Drew.
I think this is another one of those cases of a different culture, not our fault we didn't know about it.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean,
Gemma Arterton. Okay.
Gemma Arterton?
Arterton. She was in Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because the name Tamara Drew sounds familiar, but I don't remember reading the comic or the movie.
Yeah. Let's see.
Maybe it was somebody I dated.
Maybe so.
The movie, a young newspaper writer returns to her hometown in the English countryside where her childhood home is being prepped for sale. So it's a very, interesting.
It's a touchy-feely comic.
It is.
Oh, there's no explosions or big guns. No wonder. All right.
The only thing to draw us were the boobies.
I think there is nudity in the movie as well. So,
yeah, probably.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, her. Moving on. I'll give that one to them too because I'd never heard of that.
Yeah. I think that's the cultural divide one again.
Okay. Cowboys and Aliens.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Knew about the comic long before.
Oh, yeah. Long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still don't know why James Bond's in it.
Well, hey, look, Olivia Wilde is good to look at, okay?
Indeed.
True.
And honestly, she's the only good part of that movie.
Yeah.
Which is saying a lot. Which is saying a lot because there's good people in it.
Yeah,
Ford, I like Ford playing out of type, okay?
Yeah.
It's nice to see him not be the good guy hero all the time, all right? And that was one of the surprises of seeing this film.
Mm-hmm.
Craig does a good job. That's okay.
Yeah.
But they could have got somebody else. I like Ford's performance as the crusty old, rancher or whatever, who's a hard case. And like I said, Olivia Wilde, and that the bit they do with Olivia Wilde where she eventually realized she's also an alien was a nice twist to the whole thing. So,
I agree.
A B movie that's a guilty pleasure.
Exactly. I would agree with that. Oh, go ahead, John.
No, I was going to say, the sad thing is I hate Sam Rockwell in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They just make him a whiny punk in this movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't really care for Clancy Brown in this movie.
Mm.
He's kind of useless, too.
Just Clancy in to get killed lately. That's been his habit. You notice
honestly, that? Yeah. It's Clancy Brown is in the beginning of everything and then dies.
Yeah,
by the end of the first act.
Episode 1, season 1.
Exactly.
He's dead. It's like, what?
The only character I really liked was the two characters. The Mexican that kind of wanted to be Harrison Ford's son. Mm-hmm. I hated the real son. I wish he would have gotten shot like the first part of the movie. And then I found the guy that took over Daniel Craig's band. His band of bandits. I found him kind of funny. He amused me. But, yeah, a lot of the rest of this was just,
The sad thing is, the movie was still better than the comic. Here's an interesting fact, John, for you. Clancy Brown, from Urbana, Ohio.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right, so next up we got number 29, Ghost World, which I did know this was based on a comic.
Yeah, I did know. And I actually liked the movie.
I don't think I ever saw it.
There are no explosions.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
go ahead, Gordon.
Although if you do like your movies to start with a funky, surrealistic dance number, featuring a guy singing in, I think it's Urdu, Ghost World's your movie.
Okay.
And if you want to see Scarlett Johansson, exactly. And if you want to see ScarJo before she became ScarJo, go look at it. Yeah. Scarlett Johansson, she's in it looking nothing like what she looks now.
Right.
Very, very sedate, very unglamorous and everything. But, Steve Buscemi's in it. He's kind of creepy and cool in that Steve Buscemi kind of way.
He's always creepy.
Yeah, he's always creepy and cool. And, I can't remember. I want to say it's Thora Birch, but I think I'm right. Is it Thora Birch? Okay. I was thinking it's either Thora Birch or the other indie girl with the weird name that always plays stuff.
Oh,
but
Christina Ricci?
No.
I
think it's Ione Sky or something. I don't remember. Anyway. But yeah, no, it's a pretty good. It's a talker. It's a lot of people standing around talking. and a lot of teen angst and all that sort of thing. But if you're into that, knock yourself out.
Had you heard about this one, Ron?
I when the movie came out, I remember reading, reviews of the movie and that it was based on a comic. And I've seen copies of the comic in local comic shops, so I knew its pedigree. But again, the comic itself, and I knew, by flipping through it and having read about it that it's like John said, it's one of those intellectual kind of things, okay, and dealing with people's angst. And when I saw the film trailers, I went, it looks like it's pretty faithful to the comic, which is not my cup of tea. Yeah. But I was aware of it.
Yeah. I think a lot of us from that era didn't know the comic as much as we knew Daniel Klaus.
Yeah.
Because we were always he was always one of those guys that was over here doing that different kind of comic than a lot of us were into.
Totally. Yeah.
Like 8 Ball and Why I Hate Saturn and stuff like that. Those books that we knew of but weren't necessarily into.
Right, like alternate comics.
Yeah, kind of alternate comics in that, kind of a different alternate from, say, the R. Crumbs and the
Again,
the Harvey P. Carr kind of things.
Yeah.
It was kind of, I guess you'd call it like the new alternate, the same way you call it like New Wave or something.
It would have appealed to the college crowd.
Yeah, exactly. It's like New Wave or, something like that. It's kind of college comics, which is hard to say together, but yeah.
Were you going to say something, Gordon?
Yeah, I was saying it was part of that indie scene that kind of erupted at the time. Because I read Klaus and Peter Baggy and that scene. I can say that the movie is nothing like the comic, but the comic is even more talky. And it's also there's a mean-spiritedness in the comic that is really kind of refreshingly absent from the movie. So I would encourage everyone to go see the movie. Yeah, Klaus is not exactly a warm and friendly person.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think she was truly evil to the guy. To the Steve Buscemi character in the comic. I mean, like, truly, truly evil to him.
All right,
instead of just sort of dragging him along. Sorry. No, I don't want to get to this next one because I'm trying to divorce myself of the movie.
Come on, what is it?
Number 30. Red Sonja.
Oh, yes, of course. Sandal Bergild, or whatever her name was. Yes.
No, this was Brigitte Nielsen.
Yeah,
okay.
Yes, Sandal Bergman was in the first Conan movie.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Yes,
okay.
Who I think was supposed to be Red Sonja, but they never called her that.
Right.
Exactly.
Which they should have, but...
Probably,
Honestly, I didn't know this was based on a comic book. I knew Conan was, but I didn't know Red Sonja was. I thought they just was like, it's a female Conan. That's
no. Marvel didn't waste too much time after the
they were all over that.
Yeah, there was a Red Sonja title real quick.
Yeah. So I just never read that stuff. So
did Howard do that one too? I can't remember his first
Yes,
name.
no. Howard did create Red Sonja.
Yeah, Robert E. Howard.
Robert E. Howard. Okay, I thought he did, but for some reason I was thinking that it was in some way separate.
Okay, this next one. I should have known it was based on a comic, but I didn't. Push, which came out just 5 years ago with Chris Evans and what's her name, Dakota Fanning. I love this movie. They're telekinetic.
I didn't even know about the comic, and it's Wildstorm.
Yeah,
so
I didn't know
should have known about the comic.
The movie I thought was fantastic. I want a sequel.
I've never seen it.
It's a fantastic movie. It's a superhero movie kind of thing. It's Dakota Fanning and Chris Evans, and there's another girl character I think too, and they're all telekinetic and they're running from these people trying to catch them and use them, take advantage of them or whatever.
Wow,
it's kind of like an X-Men kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. Have you ever read the comic?
I'd never heard of the comic. I didn't even know it was based on a comic. So.
Oh wow!
Until just now. So.
I'm gonna have to check both out.
Apparently, the comic and the film came out at the same time, around the same time. So.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? Wow.
I knew about the film, but I didn't know it was based on a comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew nothing about it either.
Wow.
I didn't know Chris Evans had done anything except for FF and Captain America.
Yeah, it was after FF, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he did another one based on comics, which will probably pop up, so I won't say it right here.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I've got it written down. If it doesn't come up, I'll mention it.
Yeah, cool. All right, so 32, we have Barbarella, which...
yeah, we talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cojones of... I mean, Barbarella was a French comic.
Yeah.
Right, and it was a daily strip. And it wasn't so much a comic book as a newspaper strip.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd been around for a long, long time. And then Jane Fonda at that time was married to the French writer-director Roger Vadim.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that all came about. And she co-stars in it with John Philip Law, who was one of Harryhausen's Sinbad characters, one of his Sinbad fantasy adventures.
Yeah, okay.
But he plays the angel in this one. And this thing features one of the hottest scenes that Fonda's ever filmed. That's when she gets caught and put in the orgasmatron.
Yeah.
Something like out of a Woody Allen movie, you know? Where supposedly you're going to get an orgasm by being in this thing or whatever.
And burns the thing up.
Yep.
You destroyed my machine!
Yep. Barbarella. Oh, my God.
According to the comic, it's her. That's the only French I know, Cecile.
Yes,
It's her.
It's her. All right, so this next one I've never heard of either. It's from the 60s. It's called Diabolique.
Diabolique.
Oh,
Diabolique. Another French strip.
Yes.
And this actually starred John Philip Law. It's more like Gordon, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more like a James Bond wearing a mask.
Yeah, Diabolique is basically he's a thief for hire who steals stuff and dates gorgeous women. And interesting trivia fact, Danger Diabolique was the very last movie that was riffed on Mystery Science Theater. That was their final episode.
Really? I'm going to have to check that out.
It's become a cult classic amongst 70s, 80s comic fans, and it's always hard to get a copy of it. Every time I find a website that's selling old films and they have it, it's usually the one that sells out first.
Yeah.
So get a chance to find this. Go ahead, Gordon.
Yeah, if you want to try to find the Mystery Science Theater version, several people have uploaded episodes onto YouTube. So if you do Mystery Science Theater Diabolique with a K, you should be able to find it and watch it.
There you go.
All right.
That costume, man.
I know. It actually says it was an Italian comic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Definitely a foreign comic, though.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, 34. 30 Days of Night. So, I thought...
Yeah.
Didn't they advertise that as based on a comic? I thought
they did. They were all over.
They made a big deal of that. And that was...
and this is the one comic, as I mentioned earlier, that I really felt when the creators made it and wrote it, it really felt like, oh, this is a draft screenplay. We hope someone options it.
Yeah. Honestly, they played up the comic thing more than the vampire thing.
Yeah.
They did. And you know what? I got to tell you, I saw the film, and it creeped me out.
Yeah.
So I give the film thumbs up. I think it's really a really scary, creepy film, and I love the whole concept of, well, where else do you do this? I mean, it's the idea. You do a vampire picture where it's nighttime all the time. All right.
Concept is great. Yeah.
Yeah, the concept's great. So later, I'm in a comic shop, and they've got back issues of the series itself. So what the hell? So I picked up the first couple, to see the difference between the two. Mm-hmm. And the story is still pretty much the same. And I agree with Gordon. I think, the writers saw the potential for this and set it up like that, which you should. It's a great idea. Mm-hmm. But I got to tell you, I am not a fan of the art.
It's Ben Templesmith. I am not a fan of his art in general.
Yeah.
It is so rough around the edges.
It is.
It was hard for me to follow the story. I just gave up on the art. I just kept reading the captions and the dialogue.
Yeah. Anytime he's attached to a book, I immediately pass it. I'm not a fan of his style.
So this is one of those cases where go see the movie. The movie's freaking scary as hell.
Yeah.
Leave the comic alone.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's as much as he touts himself as, someone that teaches people art
Ooh.
Yeah, this thing.
Ooh.
It's
Okay.
incredibly rough. It's incredibly rough work, and the coloring doesn't help at all.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, and I think he's got a style to him, but I don't think it's right for sequential art. In my opinion.
Yeah, indeed. It's a definite style. It's just probably not a good choice for tight panel work.
Right. So, all right, moving on. 35, The Mask.
A classic.
Yes.
I don't care.
The Dark Horse comic as well. So.
And I knew it was a comic.
Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I knew it.
Right. But to be quite honest with you, I went into the theater to see it, and obviously, you know the story, but they take liberties, which thank God they did, and they let Jim Carrey run wild. Mm-hmm. And it's a crazy film. I think it's one of the funniest films ever made. I absolutely love it.
It's a fantastic film. The sequel, not so much.
But the sequel should,
Yeah.
The sequel should have Ragnarok happen all over it, considering they delve so heavily into Norse history for it. But yeah.
I mean, some of the things that happen in The Mask. I mean, the whole playoff of the Warner Brothers Wolf cartoons.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Right. That the zoot suits, all this good stuff. Okay. The dance numbers are crazy. Oh. All this, and the dog. I mean, the dog almost steals the movie from everybody. All right. And one of my favorite scenes has absolutely no special effects, and that's when he's in jail and he's trying to get the dog to jump up.
Yeah.
So he could catch it. Come on, you can do it. And the dog's got these tiny little feet, right? They have legs. I'm in tears in the theater watching that dog trying to jump up to that. Oh, yeah. The Mask is a classic. It really is. Dark Horse hit a home run out of that one.
One of Cameron Diaz's better films.
Exactly. Same thing. It was her star-making film.
Yeah, it was one of her first films, actually. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I never read the comic till after the movie.
Right, yeah. But I did know of it. All right, next one. This has come back up in a recent discussion because of another film. But Howard the Duck.
Oh.
Yeah, how could you not, honestly?
No. It had Marvel all over it anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And took liberties like,
Oh, yeah.
like mad, but I didn't actually hate this movie.
I didn't either, but to be fair, I watched it like when it came out, so like I was 10. So.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with the comic, Howard.
Do you remember?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Wasn't Leah Thompson in it?
Yep.
I much remember Leah Thompson,
exactly.
who was hot, but I mean, hey.
Yeah, exactly. I remember him being the duck being very irreverent, and I remember Leah Thompson. That's
So spoiler alert here, okay? If you don't want to know the ending to a very recent, highly successful film, block your ears right now. But personally, that was the worst part of Guardians of the Galaxy. Period. All right, we really didn't need that duck back. No, thank you.
I think it was just a toss-in for the fans, but I agree. Yeah. I wish that had been the first credit scene instead of the last.
Yeah,
the last
one.
I mean, honestly, the movie had nothing to do with the comic anyway. And the comic had a hard enough time figuring out what it wanted to be to begin with.
Oh. Yeah.
It started out as just a kind of, weird duck out of water sort of thing, and then, and
no pun intended, right?
No pun intended. Whatsoever. Actually, that's why I paused, because I was looking for a pun.
Yeah.
But then, it got in all this mystical crap and the nexus of realities and man thing, and why?
I don't know.
It was just existential. They actually use the word existential here in the little description. That does well to describe the entire idea of this.
But we knew it was a comic book.
Yeah,
we knew it. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, we're going long. We only got like 4 left, so let's try to power through these. This next one I have never heard of in my life. It's called Blue is the Warmest Color.
I only heard of it because I reported on it.
Oh, okay. It's what is it? Feminist and Lesbian Spectator, and it's got like The comic has like a lot of sex scenes. And stuff.
Yeah. It's essentially a lesbian story about a girl with blue hair falling in love with another young woman who I'm not sure because I haven't read the comic or watched the movie, but I think the other girl might be straight, but I'm not sure.
They look very young.
So what was the company to put it? The comic
Oh,
company?
it's a French company.
Okay.
Yeah, because the actual title is like "Le Bleu est un couleur chaude." So.
Yeah. Adelif Kachichi or something like that. But I mean the
du fromage.
Gesundheit. But the comic was only preceded the movie by 3 years, so.
Okay.
Okay, this next one is interesting. It's also looks to be a French comic, but the film is an American film. It's a Bullet to the Head is the film. It stars Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, okay. Awesome B movie. I just recently saw it a few months ago for the first time because that's how fast it got to cable.
Apparently, yeah.
But it's fun. It's got a good cast, and Stallone. Stallone knows how to make movies that entertain you. Okay. Nothing to get your way. But I did not know that was based on a comic. And what'd you say, Brand? A foreign comic?
Yeah, it's called Diplôme dans les
it's either French or Spanish. I think French because of la tête.
Probably.
Okay, so here's a case. Here's a case where they basically made an American movie because this is the setting for this has got nothing to do with any foreign settings at all.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Stallone's basically a two-time hood whose young sidekick gets murdered at the start of the film, and then it becomes pretty much a revenge film of him trying to get the guy who did it and the organization he works for and their corrupt cops and stuff like that.
Yeah, the description isn't at all favorable to it, and I will say I hadn't heard of either, but it does say the original solid French comic by Alexis Nolent is done no favors by Alessandro Camen's very weak screenplay and Stallone's angry mumbles don't obscure the bad writing quite enough.
Hey, really sincerely, this is one of those, if you catch it on Netflix or whatever, you got a free night, it is an entertaining movie. It is well done. I'm trying to think of the rest of the cast. There's a Chinese-American actor who plays a cop who ends up helping Stallone, not knowing whether you can trust him or not. And the last guy who played Conan in that new version of Conan.
Yeah.
Jason
Momoa.
All right.
Momoa,
He plays the ex-military assassin working for the mob. And he does it extremely well, so that the big lead up is eventually him and Stallone going at it. Again, for a B picture, I give it, you guys watched The Prisoner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The young lady now who's a regular on the show, who's ex-CIA.
Oh.
You know the character I'm talking about? She works for Mr. Finch.
Oh, you're talking about Person of Interest.
Person of Interest. Okay,
right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the young lady who's the ex-CIA who works for Finch and Reese.
Okay.
All right? I don't remember what her name is, all right? The point I'm trying to tell you guys is, in this particular film, she plays Stallone's daughter.
Oh, okay.
All right? It's got some good characters. It's a B movie. I'm not saying it isn't, guys, okay? But it's a B movie. If you get a chance to watch it, pour yourself a beer or whatever and get some nachos, and I think you might like it.
Sarah Shahi.
There you go.
Sarah Shahi.
And she does a really good job in the role.
Cool.
Yeah. Bullet to the head. It's a good B movie.
I actually like her as an actress. She had a short-lived show on USA before that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah. She's excellent in that character in Person of Interest.
Yeah. Fairly Legal was the name of the show.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that. It has to be better than Expendables. So.
Ron liked that too. So I did too, actually. But. All right.
Okay.
39. Richie Rich. Really?
Oh, come on, give me
How did you not know he's a
right?
Who
doesn't?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Talk about being part of the lexicon.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you would call people that.
Right.
Yo, Richie Rich, give me some money.
All right, and okay, real quick, Ron, because yours, the one you were talking about, is not on the list apparently. You were talking about The Losers with Chris.
Of course,
Evans, right?
The Losers, based on DC
Vertigo,
comics.
yeah.
Chris Evans is in that. It's another movie he made based on a comic, and that's a lot of fun too. That's got a really good cast. Zoe Zoltana's in that.
Yeah, I can back Ron in it. I just saw The Losers. It's actually it's a good, fun Saturday afternoon movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Zoe Saldana, Chris Evans, great cast, great movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, recommended highly.
All right, so number 1, or number 40, I guess I should say, is Oldboy, which was a comic back in the late 90s. I'm sorry. And then it was made into a foreign film, a Japanese film, in 2003, and it was recently remade with Josh Brolin and Elizabeth Olsen last year as an American version.
Okay, now I never knew this was a comic. This is a foreign comic, right?
Yeah, it's a Japanese comic.
Yeah, Japanese comic.
Okay, with the most bizarre story plot in the world. Do you guys know what that is?
I do not, no.
Okay, basically he gets kidnapped as a young man and literally put into this cell underground where he's kept for like 10 years. Water is given to him, food is given to him, all this good stuff, until one day the door that's got him locked in is opened. And he comes out. And I don't know, I say 10. It's probably even longer than that. All right? And the whole concept is whoever imprisoned him, there's no rhyme nor reason, then just lets him out. And the whole point of the plot is he has to find out who it was that took away most of his life and get back at them for what they did. Now, if that isn't bizarre, I don't know what is.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Olsen, who is playing the Scarlet Witch in Avengers 2, is in it. So. A lot of her is in it. That's all I'll say. I've not seen the movie.
I'm trying to remember who made it. The American version was
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee, and the reviews have been horrendous, really bad.
Wow.
And oddly enough, in both, well, I don't know about the 2013 movie, but I think it is actually. There's a very deep incestuous subplot in the movies that is nowhere in the comic.
Okay. Ooh. Oh well.
But that's the list. That's any others that we want to add?
That people wouldn't know they were comics.
Yeah, I'm sure there are many others, but
there must be others.
I can't think of any right now.
Yeah, I can't either. But, that's 40. If you listen to, I think it was episode 283 was the one the part 1 was on. So if you missed that one, you can go back and listen to the other 20. But it was fun going through this list.
Yeah, some surprises for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, and then knowing what, like I said, what the origins were. I mean, there were some I knew as films, but didn't know they were comics.
Right.
And again, as we've noted, comics are international.
Yeah.
And in some cases, they'll grab a foreign comic and make an American film out of it. So there you go.
And now we know that Avengers 2 is not Elizabeth Olsen's first comic movie.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, trivia fact. You could win on Jeopardy,
There you go.
All right, so that brings us to the part of the show where we go around the table and see what everybody has coming out, and going on. Gordon.
Okay, well, I have a short story in Prose Productions' Tall Pulp Anthology, so I encourage everyone to order it. It's available via trade paperback or Kindle on Amazon. I've just finished my submissions for a story in an upcoming Airship 27 anthology. I'm working on another one, not as we speak, obviously, but and other than that, I'm adjusting to a new part-time consulting gig, so that's always fun, and that's it for me.
Okay. What about you, Ron?
I'm busy right now, more than anything else, writing, not so much writing as editing. I am writing, though, for Moonstone Comics. And we'll hopefully be putting the finishing touches on a project that's several years old for Moonstone. It's one of these cases where they started doing a project 2 or 3 years ago with a slew of characters from the pulp field. And some of these characters were licensed. And, not talking out of school here, guys, but what happened was production got delayed on the first half. This was going to be a 2-part comic. And over the last year, they've had problems with the licensors, so that eventually it looked like it would never get done. And then at the last minute, the folks at Moonstone decided to swap out the licensed properties with public domain characters, which is a smart thing to do on their part. But at the same time, they were left with this script, and I got a call from Joe Gentile, who knows my affinity for pulps and Airship 27 and all that, so asked me if I wouldn't come in and doctor up the original first script, and I did that several months ago, again, substituting the licensed characters they can't use with public domain characters, and got to see, just today, in fact, some of the preliminary artwork that was done by that. The character artist, there's no way I'm going to pronounce this guy's name, okay? He's foreign, but his work is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. And so what's happening right now is they're reworking the first issue per the script that I've since turned in. And basically, Joe came to me and said, I can't get a hold of the original writer. He's basically packed his bags and left the universe, apparently, not answering his email or whatever. And based on the work I did rewriting the first script, Joe asked me if I wouldn't write the second half of the story, and that's what I've been doing. And I've got maybe 4 pages left of script and hope to have it off to him by this weekend. So excited about that. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty much my version of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen done pulp style. Nice. There's got to be at least 8 or 9 public domain pulp heroes. Some you're familiar with, others you'll probably never heard of before. But knock on wood, the project's coming together, and we may even see issue 1 by the end of the year. So that's what's keeping me busy.
Sweet. Awesome. And John?
Let's see. My teaser image for The Lady in Red should have been out already, but I got a little waylaid by the Cincy Comic Con. At which point my glasses sort of broke themselves right off my face. I didn't even touch them. They just sort of snapped and fell right off my face. It was odd. So I'm using a pair of prescription sunglasses.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I have another pair of glasses that are about 3 prescriptions back that I can wear for a very limited amount of time before my head starts to bleed profusely from all orifices. So, so there's that. So I am literally, as we speak, working on the teaser images for Lady in Red. A public domain character, as Ron mentioned, and after I get those teaser images out, I'm going to start knocking out story and scripting, and we'll take it from there. I'm still writing the children's book with my assistant principal collaborator. I'm still waiting on her to get her part done. So that could be anywhere between now and next summer. So who knows what's going to happen with that. I am also coloring, with assists by, Brant, the, new Comic Day strip now.
Yes.
So, there's that. So check that out. If you don't like the colors, tell me which ones, and I'll tell you which ones I did. And which ones were doctored by Brant. Purple pants. No.
Accident.
gave me crap about a purple shirt, but no, he goes for the Hulk pants. Whatever.
They weren't
anyway,
that purple.
They're very purple. Let's see. Other than that, gosh, it's really about it for me right now. I've got a couple of children's books I'd like to do something with. One thing I should mention. I'm getting art books fairly regularly from the people at Watson Gaptil, also known as Random House, at some times. And one of those reviews recently ran on Comic Related. And I actually got a very complimentary email from the lady that's sending the books, that she really liked my last paragraph of the Words for Pictures review of Brian Michael Bendis' book. I can tell you I have 3 more books in the queue to be reviewed. One is Draw-Asaurus, which is how to draw dinosaurs done by Disney animators. Not quite my cup of tea, but, it might just be fun. Just kind of a funny thing. Making Comics Like the Pros by Greg Pak and Fred Valente is one of the books I'm waiting to do. And, Foundations in Comic Art by John Paul Lowe. And that is a SCAD book as well. That is the, something College of Art and Design. I don't remember what S stands for. Oh, Savannah. That's right. Savannah College of Art and Design. So, you can expect to see those reviews and probably more, because they seem to like what I'm doing with the stuff on Comic Related coming up. In addition to that, the other stuff that's happening on Comic Related. Something cool that just went up today. I'm sorry to be a little long-winded here, but something cool just went up today. One of our former collaborators and one of the artists and writers behind the book Titanium Rain, Kat Roca, has written an open letter to game developers, essentially telling them to stop their crap. So, yeah.
Is this video game or board game?
Video. So go check that out. Also, Todd Copes, who does the Uncommon Geek website, sent me an article that he had put on his own site about terrorism in a pre-9/11 Green Lantern book. And so you can see how, different terrorism was versus the way it is portrayed in comics now. Other than that, just really great and cool stuff on the old Comic Related. So go check that out. Everyday comicrelated.com. And I think that's it for me for now. It's enough, I think.
I think so. No, that's all good. All right, for me, just a couple of things I want to mention this week. First of all, Futures In, the DC event currently going on. All the weekly, the new one-shots are coming out every week for that event. Comic Frontline is reviewing each and every one of those one-shots, including I'm doing a couple each week as well. So they are hitting Comic Related. There will be a hub for Futures In on Comic Related sometime this week, but you can check them all out on Comic Frontline's YouTube channel as well. And also, speaking of New Comic Day, the website has been relaunched, revamped, new design. Hope you guys like it. It was a long time coming, and after 5 years, we finally got a new look. So go check it out at newcomicday.net. And we also launched the New Comic Day Kickstarter to fund the 152-page hardcover collecting the first 5 years of the strips. So you can support that. There will be a link in the show notes, or you can go to Kickstarter and look up New Comic Day, a 5-year journey. So that's all for me this week. So that's going to wrap up our show. And Gordon, I believe you're going to read us out this week.
Sure. We would like to thank the Raywall Band and Society's Plague, the official bands of Zone 4, whose toe-tapping, catchy, melodic tunes you hear on the show each and every week. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, credit card PIN numbers, recipes, resumes, or coupons for bacon, please send those to zone4@comicrelated.com. We are also a proud member of the Comic Related Podcast Network, although whether they're proud of us, we're not quite sure. And as always, thanks for listening. You are now leaving Zone 4.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, all!
Sierra Nevada.
Nice.
I prefer Peter Parker, spider sense tingling in his head. Web slinging action in the thick of danger, fighting crimes, what he loves best. He's Spider-Man.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production. Honk!